I could not go to college because my father said, my father was my guru. He said, you can't do everything in one lifetime. If you want to be a musician, just concentrate right from the very beginning. If you go to, if you continue going to college or school, that's waste of time for a musician because you are indulging yourself into something you are not interested. And I was not interested. Every time I used to read book, I'll go to sleep, I think. Because while reading a book, I will go to the world of melody, I will start humming, I will start singing. So that was, but now there are so many creative children, so many creative students, they are forced to study because their creativity is demolished, their creativity is ruined because of this heavy burden of books and studies and academics. So I think the creative people, they have to take a risk of life. I was not sure what will happen to my life tomorrow. I didn't plan my career, I didn't have, because I was looking after my parents, which is very important to, one should be able to receive the blessings of your parents. If you don't have a patience to serve the parents, if you don't have patience to give time to the parents, if you don't have patience to respect your parents, please don't hurt your parents, don't humiliate your parents, don't disregard or discard your parents, because they brought you up. When a child is lying on the road or street, uh, the parents take care of the children. So all over the world, the poor parents today, they are not very, very happy with the treatment of their children. But in India, we are much better. I mean, even now, we take care of our parents. We till the time they are alive, we we believe in blessings in India, and we love to. My father was 95 years old when he passed away, and he saw me performing. He saw me growing up. So I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to people of India. They nurtured me, they encouraged me. Right, my first concert was when I was 6 years old, and they started inviting me every corner of India.
And the ends, like when you do this one, so dha tere ke tak dha, 1 2 1 2 dha tere. Supposing it's the last one, so dha tere ke tak dha.
Well, I gave my debut here at the age of 11 in New York City at Asia Society. And it's ironic because back in 1963, Asia Society was the organization that invited my father when he was 18 years old. So that was, it was not planned, it just so happened. So yeah, that was my first concert, but then I think from 1996 onwards, we are here at least twice a year, mainly spring season and fall season. And, so many, I think some of the most memorable concerts of my life have happened here in the US. I mean, the thing is that I think I was very fortunate that I was born to a family that has had a lot of generations of musicians in my family. But having said that, I mean, of course, it's a great honor. It's a wonderful feeling. You feel blessed. But having said that, I think what eventually matters is what you do. I mean, I don't think having a legacy of music or having generations of musicians in the family in any way makes you a good musician. Because from as long as I can remember, I think from the time when I was in my father's lap as a baby, he would start singing. And I think at some level, in essence, the training pretty much starts that day. And, you hear a lot, you observe. And obviously, it was a little confusing for me because, you have to, according to the Indian system of the teacher-student relationship, you are supposed to give a certain amount of reverence and respect to your teacher. But here, it was my father, and when a child is 8 or 9, he doesn't know where to draw that line of, that formality aspect or the reverence aspect, and when the father turns into a teacher and the teacher turns into a father. But the change from when he becomes a teacher to a to a father, and when I turn into a student into a son, it's quite effortless now. I say it's almost like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Music is very common to all of us because music is a precious gift of God. I always compare music with flowers, air, water, fire, fragrance, colors. So they don't belong to any religion. Music does not belong to any religion. And basically, there are two types of music. One is based on the language, lyrics, text. So we call that kind of music as song, because song conveys some message because of the language. But with all due respect to the language and the text, language creates barriers also. But the other kind of music is based on sound only, pure sound, the sound of symphony, sound of sarod, sound of violin, guitar, cello. So the pure sound is the beautiful experience, because there is nothing to understand in sound. When you are listening to Beethoven or Bach or Mozart, you just feel the sound. Similarly, if you are listening to my sarod, just enjoy and give yourself to sound and rhythm. Our music is based on oral tradition. Orally we sing. I make all my students sing and feel music, because there are a lot of people, they read music, they write music, they talk music, but very few can feel music. So my purpose of my visit, I want people to feel music, I want to connect the world, and I am committed to the peace and harmony of the world.
Well, I mean, I think every country has its own warmth and its own way and vibe of receiving artists, of kind of vibing to a concert. So, I mean, I think one of the finest would be the United States. I think people are just so open-minded here, and I think the audience themselves give a very nice want to reach out to the artist as well, just as much as the artist is wanting to reach out to the audience. And now with, I think, changing times when the world has become a global village, I think the US continues to kind of be that change and be that blend and, of wanting to see all cultures kind of be showcased in one common platform. So that's really interesting. And the kind of festivals you see that's happening around, it's really interesting. And the kind of venues that are coming up in the US. So I think as a musician, it's extremely inspiring and it's extremely, encouraging. But when you're traveling together, I think, well, a lot of timeless moments backstage between fathers, sons, brothers, a lot of talking, a lot of arguing, a lot of noise, the usual, And, so I think these are very priceless moments, and I feel very fortunate to be in a field where I get to spend so much family time. The moment you have these residencies in universities, I think that's when you can give full kind of attention and full time to students. But then it's not something that one is able to do very often, at least in India. But then, of course, when we do have these kind of get-togethers where all my father's students get their instruments, and we just do these revisions and these whole things. So yeah, that happens, and when that does happen, it's an amazing collective getting together of energies and music and conversations. So that's how it is.